The Department of Homeland Security is now reviewing its purchase of a warehouse in Romulus, which was set to be used as an ICE detention center. The warehouse was bought in February, but the Department of Homeland Security was sued by the city of Romulus and the state of Michigan. Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel says the warehouse is not an appropriate location for a detention center because it's within a mile of a middle school and an elementary school and doesn't have the needed infrastructure. The Department of Homeland Security is putting a pause on buying other warehouses across the country that were set to be detention centers as well.
Coming up, meet the